I tried living off Bitcoin for a week. Here's what happened. What if you had to live an entire week without cash, credit cards, or even your favorite payment apps? That's right. No swipes, no taps, no Venmo requests. Instead, your survival hinges entirely on Bitcoin. Could it work? Could this digital currency, hailed by some as the future of money, actually sustain you in the real world? Hi, and welcome to this wild adventure where I put cryptocurrency to the ultimate test by living solely off Bitcoin for a full week. No backup plans, no cheats, just me, my Bitcoin wallet, and the courage to dive headfirst into the decentralized unknown. Going into this challenge, I wanted to find answers to a few burning questions. Can Bitcoin realistically replace cash for everyday expenses like grocery shopping, public transport, and even grabbing a quick coffee? What are the wins and struggles of using Bitcoin in the real world? And most importantly, have we reached a future where cryptocurrency isn't just a buzzword, but a practical way of life? Buckle up, because this is going to be one adventurous ride filled with unexpected twists, funny mishaps, and some surprising moments of triumph. Let's dive in. Before starting my week-long Bitcoin-only experiment, I laid down a few ground rules. First, I could only use Bitcoin as a currency. No sneaky credit card swipes or cash tucked under the table. Every purchase, big or small, had to be made through Bitcoin. Second, I had to do this without any prior arrangements. No calling merchants ahead to confirm if they accepted Bitcoin. It had to be as spontaneous as any regular shopping trip. To prepare, I downloaded a trustworthy Bitcoin wallet app and transferred enough Bitcoin into it to last the week. Let's just say that staring at my balance fluctuating in real time thanks to market volatility was an adventure in itself. I also spent a few hours researching Bitcoin-friendly businesses in my area. While I managed to compile a short list, one thing quickly became clear. This was not going to be easy. With my plan set, my wallet loaded, and my nerves somewhat steady, it was time to take the leap. The first day kicked off with an optimistic buzz. I stepped out of my house feeling like some crypto pioneer, ready to conquer the world with nothing but a mobile wallet. It didn't take long, however, for reality to slap me in the face. My plan was simple. Start my morning by grabbing a coffee and breakfast from a cafe that was supposedly Bitcoin-friendly. Except when I arrived, the cashier looked at me like I was speaking another language. Bitcoin? We don't take that anymore, she said, shrugging. Strike one. After some walking, I found a small independent cafe that thankfully accepted Bitcoin. I scanned their QR code, made the payment, and finally had my morning fuel. It felt like a small win, but the effort it took to get there? Definitely not ideal. By day 2, I started noticing patterns. Finding businesses that accepted Bitcoin was only half the battle. The other half? Convincing people to trust the transaction. One grocery store cashier panicked, thinking I was trying to scam them. Another insisted the payment didn't go through, even though it did. Still, I did manage to buy some basic groceries using Bitcoin. While the transaction fees were small, waiting for the blockchain confirmation took a few minutes, a clear sign that speed was still an issue for Bitcoin compared to swiping a card. Despite the struggles, scoring some fresh produce felt like a win. I even high-fived myself in the middle of the store aisle. No shame. Day 3 might as well be titled, "The Day Things Went Wrong." My mission was to use Bitcoin for public transport. I had done my research and found that a taxi service in my city accepted Bitcoin payments. Excited, I hopped into the cab and explained my payment preference. Big mistake. The driver didn't know how to process Bitcoin, fumbling with his phone and calling his office for help. By the time we figured it out, we had spent 5 awkward minutes parked on the side of the road, and I had overpaid due to Bitcoin's fluctuating value. A painful lesson in patience. But that night, I stumbled upon a small pizzeria that accepted Bitcoin. The staff was super friendly, even showing me how they process payments on their end. That pizza tasted like victory, and it salvaged an otherwise rough day. Day 4 marked the turning point. Armed with lessons from my previous mishaps, I had a solid game plan: stick to smaller, independent businesses. I started the day at a local farmer's market and was thrilled to discover several vendors accepting Bitcoin. One vendor, a young entrepreneur selling homemade candles, even gave me a Bitcoin transaction speed tutorial. It was inspiring to see how small businesses were embracing this technology, and it gave me hope for a future where crypto might be more widely adopted. By the evening, I felt more confident navigating the crypto world. A quick snack purchase at a food truck that took Bitcoin? Easy. Booking an event ticket online using crypto? Done. For the first time, I thought, hey, I could actually get used to this. Just as I was starting to feel invincible, day 5 threw some curveballs my way. First, I tried paying for a basic service, laundry, using Bitcoin, only to discover that their payment system added hefty fees. I reluctantly gave in, chalking it up to another lesson learned. The real hurdle, however, came when I needed to adjust my weekly budget. Bitcoin's price had dropped slightly overnight, leaving me with less purchasing power than I started with. It was a stark reminder of how volatile cryptocurrency can be, especially when you're relying on it for day-to-day use. By day 6, I was a crypto payment ninja. I knew the best apps, the fastest transaction methods, and even which merchants to avoid. I walked into Bitcoin-friendly establishments with the confidence of a seasoned pro. One memorable highlight was meeting a fellow Bitcoin enthusiast at a co-working space that accepted crypto payments. We bonded over shared stories of crypto wins and struggles, and he even introduced me to a group of merchants expanding Bitcoin adoption in the area. It was a refreshing sense of community and optimism. For the first time, I stopped seeing Bitcoin as money with extra steps and started appreciating its potential as an alternative to traditional systems. The final day of the challenge was both triumphant and bittersweet. I celebrated small victories, like successfully paying for a coffee without a single technical hiccup. But as I reflected on the week, I realized it had been anything but smooth sailing. The experiment revealed both the potential and limitations of Bitcoin. On one hand, it proved that crypto can work for daily transactions, especially in smaller, tech-savvy communities. On the other hand, issues like merchant awareness, fluctuating value, and transaction delays showed there's still a long way to go before crypto becomes mainstream. Living off Bitcoin for a week was equal parts thrilling, challenging, and educational. It forced me out of my comfort zone, introduced me to amazing people in the crypto space, and gave me a first-hand look at the adoption hurdles we still need to overcome. So, is Bitcoin ready to replace cash? Not quite, but it's getting there. The decentralized revolution is still in its early days, but one thing is certain: there's no going back. To my fellow crypto enthusiasts out there, if you're curious about Bitcoin's real-world potential, I challenge you to give this experiment a try. Whether it's a day or a week, you'll come away with stories, lessons, and a newfound appreciation for this incredible technology. And who knows? Maybe in the near future, living off Bitcoin won't just be an experiment, it'll be the norm. On that note, thank you for joining me on this adventure. Keep hodling, and I'll see you in the next one.